Hi everyone. Welcome back. So guys, as part of the today's session, we are going to see couple more concepts on this tuple, like an optional parameters, how exactly we can add a few values, we can remove the values, and how exactly we can define an array on top of this tuple. See, basically, in the previous session, if you look at this particular example, we have updated the existing values, right? We updated the existing values, but this time I wanna insert a few more values into that. Okay, that's the difference. So I wanna insert a couple more values into that. So here, what I am doing right now is let student info, and this time I'm storing number comma string into this, where in which I'm just defining 101 John. And right now I wanna update my information. Prior to that, a console.log, okay, student info before insertion. Okay, student info before insertion. And in order to update the entries, or in order to create a new values into that, you will be using a push. So here student info dot push is the method that I need to use. As part of the push, you need to give two values. So 102 comma John. Okay, Smith. John is already there. I have that. And student info dot, okay, student info, basically initially I'm having this particular 101 John, and now I posted 102 Smith. So when I run this particular program, right, if you look at the console, the updated information is this is the one. It does has all these details. Perfectly all right. Now, what I want to do is I want to remove the values from that. So the only thing that we can do is student info dot a pop. So what is this pop does? This removes the last element. So the last element from this one is a Smith. Basically, it will be, printing that. Okay. Let us see how exactly we can execute this one. So play. Okay, I'm just executing this particular program. See, the Smith got removed from here. Okay, so this is the way how exactly we can use a push, how exactly we can use a pop here. Okay, perfectly all right. And then the next thing that we need to deal out over here is an optional parameters. See, basically, if you observe right now, the number and a string I'm defining, but sometimes I want to define an optional parameter. We have already studied the optional parameter, right? So let student data, okay, let the student data, and this time I'm defining it as a number comma string, and this is what an optional argument is. Okay, this is what an optional argument is, and the value that I am passing out over there is just this particular one. Okay, console.log student data. That's it, guys. So when I run this particular one, see, basically, okay, let me save it, let me run this particular chunk, and see, basically only this one is entered into that. The reason is this string is an optional. We may pass it, or we may not pass that particular information. Okay, so student data dot push. Okay, student data dot push 102 comma Smith. Okay, 102 comma Smith. That's it. So when I run this particular program this time, see, the second entry is having a name, which is an optional, right? As we have mentioned it as a question mark, this is a kind of an optional information. Perfectly all right. Depending on the need, we can put this particular one. And another thing that we have studied about an optional is whenever you are using an optional element, right, it should be at the end. Okay, the same that we have seen for an function also. Okay, the optional one should be at the end itself. Okay, that's fine. Perfectly all right. Now, how are we defining this particular one? Let us see this one. This is the one that we are using, right? Let me uncomment this one. So here, I'm just passing only one entry into that. I wanna define it as a array of values. Array means you will be just defining this one, right? The data, in order to pass the data, I was just defining this braces, and here within this braces, I'm gonna update my my data. Okay, within this braces itself, I'm gonna pass on my multiple sets of a data. So here, my multiple sets of a data is gonna be okay, John Smith, and the third one here is gonna be some Mary. Okay, that's it. So I have updated this data. So this is what the data array of elements into that. Now I wanna print using a for loop. Okay, so for let student. So from the student information as it is of an array, from that particular array, pick only the first array. The first array will be in a student. It does has us two values. So in order to do so, basically student information. See here, console.log. I wanna get student of 0 comma student of a 1. So what does it mean? See, among these three arrays, this for each loop will be working on a three sets of a data. The first data is this one, which is of a 0th index, and the second one is of a first index. As this is a for each loop, this will be iterating on all the elements present in here. That's the reason the first array, the second array, third array would be printed down. Let me try to run this and see. Okay, let me try to run this and check it out. See, this is the way how exactly it's being printing down to the okay, to the output console. Perfectly all right. So this is the way how exactly we can use this tuple, guys. Okay, perfect. So let us continue this topic with a further example in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.